First of all, it's so nice to be with everyone this morning, and it's so good to see so many familiar faces. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Cory Simpson, and I'm the CEO of ICIT. I'm also going to be your MC for today's event. I want to start with some thank yous, and then we'll hop into the program. First, I want to thank all of you. I know how much it means to invest your time, and we know how valuable that is, and we promise to make the most of it. In addition to welcoming everyone physically present here, I want to welcome our C-SPAN viewers, and thank you all for joining us. There are a lot of folks who work very hard behind the scenes to make events like this possible, from the Capitol Visitor Center staff and the security to the ICIT staff. Thank you to everyone that made today's event possible. To our founding partner, Google Public Sector, thank you. And to our supporting partners, Jacob and Wiz. We could not have launched this event without your dedicated support and your committed partnership. Thank you. To our media partner, the Cyber Risk Alliance, who uplifts and amplifies everything we do, thank you. To our esteemed panelists, and we have two stacked and incredibly interesting panels coming up on today's agenda, thank you for taking the time to be here. To Senator John Hickenlooper, who shares ICIT's passion for collaboration and community, and who will be arriving soon. He'll share some perspectives as a small business owner, an entrepreneur, a mayor of Denver, a governor of Colorado, and a key voice on the bipartisan infrastructure law and the CHIPS Act. To Congressman Chris DeLuzio and his team, unfortunately, they can't be here today. But I'm going to share some words, and we wouldn't have been able to do this event without their support. In his absence, and in a much less capable voice, I want to share just a bit about Congressman DeLuzio, his district, and some of the reasons that he supports the initiative that we're here today to launch. Congressman DeLuzio is a Navy and Iraq war veteran with a deep understanding of cybersecurity. He also represents the 17th Congressional District of Pennsylvania. It's an area of Pennsylvania where he grew up and where last fall, Iranian-affiliated hackers breached a water treatment facility. While the hackers did not harm the availability or supply of water, the intrusion was unsettling, and it highlighted the importance of secure and resilient infrastructure. The incident also highlighted critical infrastructure's centrality in geopolitics and modern-day warfare. You see, the breach was linked to an Iranian cyber campaign against Israel. As a part of that campaign, the Iranian hackers carried out an attack on an Israeli company called Utronics, which supplies software used in water treatment facilities. One of Utronics' customers was the Municipal Water Authority of Aliquippa. The Iranian hackers used the unlawful access gained to the Pennsylvania water treatment facility to deface computer screens and to display the message, "You've been hacked, down with Israel, every equipment made in Israel is a cyber avenger legal target." It was a cyber-enabled psychological operation. The Iranian hackers aim to create a perception among foreign states that aligning with Israel is fraught with risk. Now, the water treatment facility in Aliquippa had no idea that the equipment they were using had software that came from Israel. I know. My software supply chain security folks are probably saying they should have. Perhaps that's true, but that's not the point. My point is that because of the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East and how deeply we are all digitally connected, a water treatment facility in Pennsylvania, Congressman DeLuzio's district, was breached. It's astounding. There are many implications, and our first panel is going to dive deeper into the role that critical infrastructure plays in geopolitics, especially the geopolitical rivalry between the United States and China, as well as its centrality in modern warfare. Now, before digging into why we're all here today, to formally launch the Center for FCEB Resilience, I want to share just a bit about ICIT. ICIT is a nonpartisan, nonprofit think tank that has served nearly a decade at the intersection of critical infrastructure, technology, security, and resilience. We have built a community as diverse as those who depend on critical infrastructure. We are critical infrastructure owners and operators, policy and security experts, CISOs, political leaders, philanthropists, technologists, and everyday people from big cities and small towns. Over the years, our commitment has remained steadfast, yet our focus has evolved as our community's needs have evolved. Today, at the organizational level, we're focused on three things: critical infrastructure that provides for foundational need, the linchpin technologies that enable that infrastructure, and the security and resilience of both. What's changed? We just explicitly put people at the center of our mission statement and our focus. I'm proud of what we're doing together. I'm humbled by today's support and eager to travel the road ahead together. So, the Center for the Federal Civilian Executive Branch Resilience, the FCIB, or FCEB, I've heard it both ways. So, well, what is the FCEB? The FCEB is 100 departments and agencies with diverse actors and missions not necessarily related to one another, still all providing critical services to the American people on behalf of the U.S. government. The FCEB is the primary interface of the executive branch with the American people. It's responsible for delivering services and supporting infrastructure essential to our way of life. From healthcare to veteran and elderly care, from small business financial support to large commercial enterprise engagement, from supplemental nutrition assistance programs to agriculture and energy, the FCEB delivers. The FCEB is also responsible for 15 of the 16 critical infrastructure sectors. So, the ICIT Center for FCEB Resilience, it's a multi-year initiative to support the FCEB's digital transformation, security, and resiliency efforts. Through a series of public and private sector research and educational initiatives, the center will strengthen the FCEB by educating leaders on cutting-edge technology solutions and strategies for effective decision-making and governance, developing policy recommendations for lawmakers and agency executives, convening public and private sector stakeholders to share best practices and foster strong communication and cohesion, creating and distributing publicly available materials that support the program's initiative. So why a Center for FCEB Resilience? Resilience, it's a buzzword of sorts, I know. But what I mean simply in this context is that the ability to recover from disruptions and setbacks at speed and scale. We quickly get back to doing the mission. There's a lot implied in that, and we'll continue to flesh that out beginning today and continuing to flesh it out through this initiative. We'll do this because our needs, risks, vulnerabilities, threats, they'll all evolve, and so too will our ability to respond and react, so we must be agile. Resilience is where we settle because no matter what, it's imperative that the American people be able to access and fully leverage the infrastructure and services offered by the FCEB. With access, though, comes great vulnerability. There's a reason the most secure systems in the world have such limited access. So because the FCEB is so vital and so accessible, it's a rich target for adversaries seeking to degrade the United States, both at home and abroad, without running the risks associated with conventional kinetic warfare. They essentially stay below the level of armed conflict. We anticipate that there will be some setbacks. We know there may be some disruptions in the future, so resilience must be a guiding principle and applied holistically. We launch here in our nation's capital. Why? Congress serves as the board of directors for America. As such, they conduct oversight and set the budget for the executive branch. Unlike the DoD and IC, which has consolidated oversight in the House Armed Services Committee, the Senate Armed Services Committee, the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, and the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, respectively. Oversight and budget authority for the FCEB is diffuse, spanning multiple committees and subcommittees. Further complicating matters is the fact that we're living in volatile and uncertain times, a reality that, according to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, drove the largest global military spending in history last year at $2.4 trillion. This trajectory of increased military spending, both within the U.S. and globally, is not expected to change anytime soon. So, with diffuse congressional oversight, sir, welcome. Do you need to go now, or can I? Okay, thanks, sir.
I'll listen.
So, with a diffuse congressional oversight and tremendous budgetary pressures, the FCEB will be squeezed in ways that aren't clear in its aggregate. Therefore, and to lift a phrase often used in a different context by a mentor, General Retired Paul Nakasone, but is applicable here, it will be imperative that this initiative have persistent engagement with our congressional leaders, and we start today. What is success? We have a second panel on reimagining the FCEB Resilience. What is success and how do we get there? So I'll just share this with you now. This is a multi-year initiative, so today is the start. Hopefully this event will generate ideas and energy for the journey ahead. The private sector must have a meaningful voice and vote in where we're going and how we get there. After all, the private sector owns and operates the vast majority of our critical infrastructure. It also means that we, government and the private sector, have a shared fate. We're in this together. And today is a call of action, and again, I want to thank you all for answering that call, for being here, and I hope you're as excited as I. Senator Hickenlooper, sir, thank you for being here. I have an introduction for you, if I can. I'll hop.
I'm always curious who I am.
I'm not sure that everybody here knows who you are as well as you do, I hope. It's my honor to introduce Senator John Hickenlooper. Senator Hickenlooper is a leader and pillar in the critical infrastructure community. He's experienced it as a geologist, as an entrepreneur and business owner, a mayor, a governor, and now a leader in the United States Senate. We're truly lucky to have him here today. Senator Hickenlooper represents the state of Colorado and now serves as the chairman of two subcommittees, the Consumer Protection, Product Safety, and Data Security Subcommittee, which oversees policies to protect consumers and strengthen data privacy, as well as the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Subcommittee on Employment and Workplace Safety, which has jurisdiction over worker health and workforce development and apprenticeship policy. He also serves as a member of two other committees, the Committee on Energy and National Resources, which oversees the nation's energy, federal lands, and water policies, as well as the Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship, which conducts oversight of the Small Business Administration and considers legislation related to small business policy. Senator Hickenlooper is an empathetic leader who took an unconventional path to public office. He's a community builder who has done so at the local, state, and now national levels. He delivers results for the people of Colorado and our nation day in and day out. It's a privilege to have him join us today and to have him share his insights. Sir, it's not too often that I get to introduce a a one-time geologist, now U.S. Senator, to a dad of a 7-year-old boy that loves geology, loves rocks, I can tell you, geology rocks, but geology is where it's at. Sir, please welcome.